Hey folks, Dude here, coming at you on Monday, July 27th. And you know what? Sometimes it's one of those things where you got your car, you're driving in your car, and you got the GPS going, you got your cell phone charger going, you have something else going, you have another thing going, and you got the kids in the back and they all want to junk their stuff in because all their stuff needs to be plugged in as well. And before you know it, you've got one plug trying to do four jobs of which it really just can't do. I mean, you basically have not so much the limitation of how much juice you can pull out of that, basically cigarette lighter, also known as the power port, but you can basically only plug in one thing at a time. You're kind of like, the one girl who basically is like in the room full of guys and everybody's got a plug and you've only got one socket. So anyway, how do you basically work your way around these things? Well, you have to find yourself a means to find other ways to plug things into your car. Now, you can put in additional jacks. You can actually put additional sockets in your vehicles. It's not rocket science. I mean, you basically find a hot wire that's fused. Make sure it's fused. Always make sure it's a fused wire. Always make sure it's one that only comes on when you turn your key on. Your key should always be in the run position when any of these wires turn on all the time. If it's hot all the time, otherwise, you are jacking into the wrong system. And if something goes south, you have a built-in short circuit that'll make your car go foomph. You don't want that. Now, what else could you possibly do? Well, you can get yourself over to Walmart, auto parts supply places, or something along those lines. You can find something that's just really kind of cool. Now, this one is actually kind of a doppelganger for the one I got in my car. In my car, what it is essentially is it's a plug with the socket setup that's basically just jacks into the dashboard, and then it pivots off of that. Kind of cool. Only a small limitation is it's pretty much everything's plugged up in front of the car, and you're pretty much limited by simply having that space now taken over by a bunch of wires and stuff all coming out. It was actually kind of maybe a better version, and maybe it's just a revised thing they came up with. So essentially what it is, it's one big plug. Breed like, one plug going into the power port. Cigarette lighter. Anyway, it's one plug going in, and occasionally you will notice if you find these things on the shelves, they have other things. Now, you have seen these with 3 holes, which is kind of cool. This one actually has two 12-volt outputs and 2 USB plugs. So basically, you got 2 5-volt chargers. Potentially, you just simply jack in the USB plug that can charge your pad, that can charge your tablet, that can charge your phone, that can charge your GPS system, or you can simply just take the 5-volt plug and simply say, I don't need you right now because I don't have a USB adapter. I don't want to go that route. I'm simply just going to plug in, the standard cigarette lighter plug, and bada bing, bada bang, bada boom, you're good. Now, the only thing I'm really going to do with this one is I have to modify this one because it only has a short amount of cord on board. That's not hard to fix. You simply just say, okay, this end looks better than that end, or that end looks better than this end. Do a snip, do a splice, stretch it out however far you want the thing. And case in point, Mrs. Dude and I both have Honda CRVs. The Honda CRVs actually got one very good thing, which is something that a lot of SUVs and mobiles tend to do, is they'll have a power port in front, cigarette lighter. They'll have a power port in the back, cigarette lighter. And also the cool thing is you basically can have 2 plugs going at the same time. And if you do it right, you can have your plug up front run all your various things, basically charging your GPS, charging your cell phone, charging whatever it is you wish to plug in. Whoever's running as passenger basically can jack their device in. And the kids in the back are going, Mommy, Mommy, Daddy, Daddy, I need something to jack my stuff in. Well, you basically then plug that to the back power port, and you have multiple plugs then running their stuff. Now, case in point, this thing is limited to 500 milliamps, or half a watt, I think it is. It's not a lot of juice. So if you try to run too much stuff that tries to tax too much juice, it's not going to do it. It's simply just going to go, okay, a little bit to you, 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 and everybody's just going to basically start bogging down because it is not going to run out 2,000 milliamps or 2 watts. It's simply going to say, okay, I'm limited to half a watt, or 500 milliamps. 1,000 milliamps makes 1 watt. I'm limited to half a watt. That's as good as you're going to get. Now, case in point, most of your cell phones really don't require that much juice to up them up in power. Pretty much they trickle charge. You can run them up, the slow and easy and what have you. But if you're running that thing on 4G, 3G, 1G, whatever the hell G you're running it on, it is going to ask for more juice. So, case in point, if you're trying to charge your phone, the easiest, simplest thing to do is you look at your phone, you go, phone, stop trying to call home. Bing. Turn off the 4G. It'll charge a lot faster. And if you want the really, really, really huge trick, here's the one you got to do. Take your phone, and if you're not having anybody contact you because you're driving from point A to point B and you want to be out anyway, put your phone on airplane mode. you're going, okay, what's airplane mode? That means it's not calling home. It's got no signal output. It's got no signal input. It's simply just sitting idle, waiting for you to do something with it, using the apps that are on board, but it's not calling home. That's a quick, simple trick. You basically put your phone on airplane mode, and it will charge fast as hell. Try it. You'll see I'm not lying here. Folks, we'll break up on this one. Eco, keep the tongue ring as always. Always, you know what you love it. More plugs are always better than less plugs. Cigarette lighters. Oh, see you guys.